Hello, my name is Eric Rogers, and this is my week 3 update video. If you watched any of my videos in the past, you know this website that I am doing right now is a redesign of a project that I did for our Web Standards project class. The website was Chilango Restaurant, and this is the old page that I had worked on in that class. I'm making a fully updated website out of this because this wasn't really that great of a design to begin with. So what I have right now, I was currently working on the menu page. The menu on the old website was very disorganized, very long, hard to read. So what I came up with was something that had a much better hierarchy, such as this, where the menu items are in red with a description in a lighter gray below them, and actually split the menu items into sections rather than just having them all in one box without any kind of hierarchy whatsoever. So this is what I've came up with so far. I have an appetizer section, a taco section, and including photos that are staggered side to side, a huevo section for menu items that contain eggs, and a specialties section. For me, I feel like this is a dramatic improvement over what I had before. As you can see here, it really wasn't easy to read at all, and I don't know why I designed it the way I did, but I guess that's why we're in school, so we can learn and do better as we go. Some of the ideas that I had mentioned in my last video was to have a floating navigation off to the side, and after one of our classmates had recommended possibly doing a navigation that would lock into place once you reach the top, I went ahead and went with the idea of expanding this banner across and presenting navigation in the banner to the different sections of the page. And my plans are to use some jQuery smooth scrolling so that as they click on the links, it would perform like this website did. Say whenever I click on lunch, it goes to the lunch section and so on and so forth, different sections, but it doesn't just jerk to the next portion, so the user doesn't really feel like they're just being yanked around. Visually, it makes it feel like it's smoother, like you're turning a page in a book rather than just going from spot to spot to spot. So the other page that I had completed the design for was the reservations page, which I made quite a bit of a difference on that as well. In the original design, I had a lot of information off to the side. After I read through it and researched best practices for reservation pages and stuff, a lot of this wasn't really necessary, so I decided to drop almost all of it. And even the form, there was things here that really isn't needed or required, so I was able to clean that up a lot and give it a lot better hierarchy as well. And this is what I came up with for my reservations page. And since throughout the site I've made use of the different banners, things like that, I decided to use this style banner because this serves two purposes, to give it the title, to tell them where they're at to request a reservation, and also this arrow points them right to where they need to start. So in this design, I'm showing here what a field will look like if there is an error, if it's an empty field or has some kind of error in it, and an error message printed right below it. And the first name, last name, and telephone is all that is really required to make a reservation. But I also included the date and time and the party size. And the reason I did this is because off to the side I'm going to use Angular to dynamically fill in this short little form here, and whenever they click submit, it will verify their information and all the fields are correct. And if so, this little section of the page will be filled with all this information, and I'm going to have it kind of float off to the center of the page as a modal, and actually have it expand enough to where there will be two buttons that will appear underneath where it says party size. One is going to say print reservation and the other one will say close. That way they can actually print their reservation to have a copy of it in case they make a future reservation. So what I have as far as code so far, for the application I updated the template just a little bit for the app to set the title for each of the partial pages, because if you don't do that, it will stay as your index page title, which right now I have nothing because I am setting it dynamically for all the different page names. And for the CSS, actually I'm sorry, I should go into the home page. On the main page I included the video that was required for this week, and I will show you in just a moment what that is like. And then for the lunch page, as you can see, I have decided to do everything in articles with unordered lists for the content for the different menu items. For the last website I did it with a definition list, and it would have worked okay like that. I did a lot of research on what seems to be the most current trend that people are doing for restaurant menus, and this is what the majority of everything I found said to do, was to use list items with titles with header tags, and then use a span element for the description. I don't know if this is a best practice or not. Any feedback on that would be appreciated. This is how I have got it right now, using like the appetizer menu, giving it an idea of appetizers, the tacos menu, and that is as far as I have gotten with that so far. I just want to mention real quick on the header, our instructor had mentioned to make this one complete unordered list and include the H1 into a list item. That is something I plan on doing. I just didn't get time to change that and to change all the CSS this week, so I will do that. But as I did my footer, I went ahead and included I'm sorry, not on the footer. Where was I thinking? On the lunch page. Oh, okay, in the menu navigation, I actually did include it in the middle of it as such, and that, to me, that is much cleaner and it makes sense. So to show you what I have so far, I'm going to go in here so you can see how I incorporated the video that was required for this week. I set the video as the main CTA, and the reason I did this is because after I looked through a whole bunch of restaurant websites, the one thing that I noticed as a major trend that was going on is everybody's trying to grab your attention right away on the main page, because once you start clicking links off of the main page, the landing page of a restaurant website, it's more information such as your menus and how to make reservations and about. So everything that they want to get you to go to, they have to pretty much put it center stage. So I think the video would probably serve its purpose best here. I have it set to autoplay, and to entice them to come in to see the new to try out the new signature dishes. So hopefully that will get them to go into either the lunch or dinner menu. Right now I have the lunch menu started, so I'll take you there and show you what I had in mind. The navigation that I set up for the lunch menu is as such, and as you can see, everything is flowing a lot like the Photoshop document. Unfortunately, this is as far as I've gotten so far. I haven't got all the alignment for this section yet. But what I was going to have as far as this navigation is, as you scroll up and it reaches the top, it will lock into place so it stays on top, becomes fixed. That way you can click on each link to take you into the different sections. And as I was saying, the smoothing will be nicer because the way this snaps right now, it just doesn't feel natural. So this is pretty much what I have accomplished this week. Things that I would like to improve on. For one thing, I would like to figure out how to get this extra spacing out of this area so that everything is a little more even. For some reason, this image is pushing everything down a little bit. I still feel like that I can improve drastically on the CSS. I'm using SAS right now. This is still new to me. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning about it. It's importing Bourbon here so that I can use some of the grid features. I have a little bit of hierarchy going on in the SAS page itself, but I don't know if it's standard to have your SAS organized, really organized, and then the actual CSS file to look a little more disorganized, or if it should be reformatted afterwards. But as it renders, it ends up in looking like this, and to me that's not real great. So I will actually probably go over this later and comment everything and make it easier to read. So this is my week 3 updates. Everybody, please give me any feedback that you have, whether it be bad or good, and I will try to get more done and hopefully do everything a little better as we go. Thanks for your time.